What is stopping you from applying for a Cultivate Farms farm opportunity? We put a post up during the week with this very question, and it's probably one of the most engaging posts we've ever had. So the question was, we have a lot of farm opportunities, but a lot of our aspiring farmers aren't applying. What is stopping you from applying for our farm opportunities? So really we're trying to get at what can we be doing better and what farms could be trying to find, which a lot of times we aren't in control of which farms we can find. We just take what we're given from these retiring farmers. But how can we present these farms so that you're more likely to go, oh, okay, that's actually something I should go for. So the responses were really encouraging and also really confronting as well. I guess we're sort of pulling apart the whole core of what Cultivate Farms is about. And we had probably, I don't know, it's like 80 or 100 comments and discussions from us and aspiring farmers. So thank you to those who did participate. And what we've done is dumped all of the responses, well, if not all, most of the responses and our responses to that in this post. We'll turn into a blog post as well. So you can scroll through and see what your peers are thinking in terms of what is stopping them jumping onto farm opportunities like that. We think they're amazing farm ownership opportunities, but some people are thinking they're not quite suited for them. We'll just unpack why that is, and also unpack some bigger questions and bigger thinking around maybe what's stopping you from applying for some of these farms. The ball's probably in our court. Probably the ball might be due with the farm itself, but also we think the ball is probably in your court as well around what are you thinking and what are you prepared to do to realise your farm ownership opportunities. A dream, sorry, and we think these opportunities can be a great way to get you there. Not all of them will be perfect, but we encourage you to think about them seriously and think about what is stopping you and get yourself prepared to jump on them. So I'll discuss some more general ideas, but read through the blog, read through the text below to see all the detailed responses and discussions around this topic. It's really enlightening. I love it, and hopefully we'll just keep sharing this post over and over and over and get this knowledge out of you, because it's helping us refine our business model as well and making sure we're giving you something you want as aspiring farmers. So the number one was location, and people aren't willing to move beyond a certain range, which is absolutely fine, and that's what you need to know is where will or won't you move to chase your dreams, but also know that the more restrictive you are, it lowers the chances of you finding your farm, i.e. there could be a ripper farm 200 k's away, but it's just out of your range. So what might you need to do to increase your range, or just be comfortable with that? But that seems to be one. We can't do much about that. We can only give farms that are available to us, but we'll keep trying to find farms across all of Australia. A few feedback comments were, it's not the perfect opportunity, and I guess what we're saying there is no opportunity is ever going to be perfect, let alone if that happens in the business world and in the normal world, but also in this farming opportunity world. There'll never be a perfect match. And I guess we want you to understand what you can live with and what you can't, but maybe be a bit more flexible in what you can live with, because we're after farm entrepreneurs here who can see maybe a blank slate or can see the kernel of a great opportunity, and we want you to jump onto that and build it and use these farms as a stepping stone to your farming empire. Can you get on this farm and have a crack at it? Maybe take a hit in your wage or take a hit in your income, because you know you're building your wealth and you're building your skills, but you're also connecting yourself to a community, which then could open up opportunities for you to other farms and other farmers to be able to grow your wealth and grow your skills and grow your empire. So that's the sort of mentality we want, is don't think that these farms are going to be perfect and match you perfectly, because that probably will never happen. And I hate the idea that you have regret. We don't want you to have any regret. If there's something there that you think you can have a crack at, we encourage you to have a go. A lot of people say that the farms are looked at on our website, you can't make a living off. And I think under certain models, you could make a living off some of those farms, but there are so many models you can apply to these farms, and that's the mentality we want people to have. Again, being farm entrepreneurs, maybe there's a different crop or a different farming technique you can apply on these properties that can make them a viable opportunity. We're dealing with farmers who are of retirement age, are running out of energy, maybe running out of ability to implement these ideas, and they want you on board to scale the farm up. And that's, I guess, the mentality we want you to have. Think about these farms as a blank slate that you can build on and make profitable. But also some of these farms probably can't make enough money, even if you do change the methods for you to live. But again, what we want you to think about this in your long-term vision. If you're not on a farm at the moment, you want to, jumping onto a farm that can maybe provide you half your income could be an amazing way to build your farming skills, build your wealth, build your network of farmers, to then use that as a basis to go find your next farmer you add to this, and build your empire that way. Are you ready to be a farmer? There's weren't any of these specific comments, but it sort of made us think more broadly around these comments around maybe some people aren't ready to take the leap. It is a very tough thing to do, to be a farmer. Some people probably got the dream of it and love the idea of it, but an opportunity comes and puts in front of them. They're like, oh, actually, do I really want to? And that is absolutely fine. Self-awareness is a massive thing. Do you want to be an entrepreneur? Do you want to wake up early every day and plug away at this and be isolated in some cases, and living in a place that maybe isn't the exact location you thought you'd live? Like, what are the things you're willing to sacrifice, I guess, or live with? And maybe the answer is none, and you don't want to be a farmer in reality. That's fine. That is absolutely fine. And I think we encourage you to make sure you are confident that this is what you want to have a crack at. You're going to have to sacrifice some things. This is what we're learning more and more. We've sacrificed a lot to start Cultivate Farms itself. Any business, any entrepreneur has to sacrifice something, and I think you need to think about that with these farm opportunities, that you'll have to go through some hard yards to make some of these viable, or you might have to, again, sacrifice location, income, farming approaches, working with a retiring farmer for a number of years before the farm transitions over to you as the sole manager. Some of these things just need to think about, are you willing to sacrifice some of these things so that you can reach this bigger term vision? That's the only reason why you'd sacrifice, is because you can see something bigger. So encourage you, what are you willing to sacrifice to make your dreams, your big long-term dreams happen? Apply anyway. So many people have double guessed what it is a retiring farmer wants. We've got an outline there, but who knows what a farmer or someone thinks once they've met you. Maybe they see your application, they think you're an absolute gun, you don't have this and this and this, but I like your style. I want to meet. And they meet you, you get along like a house on fire. Who knows what arrangements you could arrange after that. That's why we focus so much on relationships. It's about getting good people around a table who get along, the values aligned, can see the vision for the farm, and most times you can figure out a solution that's a win-win. So please do apply, even if you think it doesn't you're not qualified yourself. Again, this is about relationships. Some people are skeptical of partnership deals, and that's fair enough too. We've heard lots of stories of people being burnt from share farming arrangements, lease arrangements, etc. And again, that's why we focus so much on relationships. This is about matching people. And if you get the right people in a room, you can work through all the awkward discussions around people holding on to decisions too long or not making the right decision. We can work all that sort of stuff out and get the governance sorted. We can get the communication lines sorted. So we really encourage relationships first. Next is to make sure you've got advisors helping you work through the arrangements, and then having those advisors on board ongoing as third-party independent advisors to help with any of these discussions ongoing. So we think those two things alone can really make a very, very high chance of it being a great arrangement. But you should be cautious, and you should make sure you've got the right people alongside you to ensure it works out. But there's no reason why it can't. And then lastly, and again, you can read all the responses below, but we want you to get inspired by these opportunities to go and find your own. So I want you to see our farm opportunities and go, wow, that's a ripper, and it's probably too far for me, or it's not big enough. We want you to be inspired that there are farmers out there of retirement age who want to back you onto their farm. They want to back kids that aren't their own onto the farm. They want to give you ownership, and they love the idea of their farm being transitioned to someone who loves it just as much as them, who are motivated and passionate and are going to look after it just as much as them. They're out there. So I want you to get encouraged to go find those farmers yourselves, to have your big black book of farmers' names on there that you are finding ways to get to know them, to bring them value, to open the door to discussion around transitioning ownership. So if nothing else, if all these opportunities you don't like, I want you to take away that there are farmers out there who could back you onto your farm. And if you want to pursue it, you could open up your own doors to those farmers and be living your dream. Love any more feedback on that as well. We know we're messing with people's lives. These are big life decisions, aren't they, to jump onto a farm like this. So you've got to be certain, and hopefully that's encouragement for you to think about what you need to make the leap, because we want to get more people for the right reasons, making a leap so we can get more and more opportunities. The more case studies we have, the more farmers matched, it leads to more success breeds success.